Shares of JPMorgan rose 1.5% today, despite a lot of investor worries about the future of the bank's chairman and CEO, Jamie Dimon. His tenure and performance come up for a vote next week when shareholders decide on whether or not to separate his dual roles as chairman and chief executive. Dimon has been criticized for huge losses following those controversial trades from the bank's London office, raising concerns about oversight at the giant bank. Now, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal, Dimon told colleagues that if the positions are separated, he would consider, quote, leaving the bank. Now, if Dimon does leave, JPMorgan stock could get slammed. That's according to a note today from CLSA banking analyst Mike Mayo, who says shares could fall by 10% or about $20 billion. Mike Mayo joins us now to share his outlook. So, Mike, is Jamie Dimon really the $20 billion man? I mean, what does this say about his performance since he became CEO back in 2005?
Well, Jamie Dimon, under his helm, the stock price has performed better than any other bank CEO. So Jamie Dimon's made investors money. And my report today talks about the market value of the company could decline by $20 billion if Jamie Dimon stepped down as CEO, which I think he put on the table. Now, that's for two reasons. One, you would lose somebody who's made investors a lot of money. But the other reason is I don't see a clear successor at JPMorgan, and so that highlights also key man risk. Jamie Dimon is very valuable, perhaps too valuable, and that's the important point I think the board needs to take up more seriously.
Do you believe that Mr. Dimon might actually leave? You take him at his word? Or at his reported word?
Right. I'm not sure if he's bluffing or if he's serious, but, you know, he's the one who put this on the table. So let's at least take that remote possibility seriously, and that creates a new degree of management tail risk. Under certain circumstances, if he were to go, you would see the stock price decline, I think, by at least 10%.
But, Mike, does this vote really matter? From my understanding, it's a non-binding shareholder vote. So even if they vote in favor of splitting these two roles, it's up to the board of JPMorgan Chase to decide whether or not they'll accept it, right?
Well, look, if over 50% of the shareholders say we want to see the chairman role split from the CEO role, I think the board has some very serious decisions to make. Having said that, I don't see the splitting of these two roles as my issue. The bigger issue is, does the board ensure enough transparency, accountability, and oversight? So I'm going down to Tampa at the annual meeting May 21st to ask the directors, be reassured by the directors that they have that proper oversight. And I think that issue transcends the issue of the chairman-CEO separation.
Does it tell you anything that 8 of 11 of Mr. Dimon's direct reports have left in the past couple of years?
Boy, I talked about management tail risk. You have regulatory tail risk. And JPMorgan is in the line of fire. There's many agencies that are taking a look at JPMorgan. Their annual report mentions expect more regulatory actions to come. And you've seen so much management change, the company can ill afford to lose its CEO at a time like this. Jamie Dimon is a lot of the glue that holds this company together. And JPMorgan can ill afford to lose Jamie Dimon at this time.
A lot has been made that on the board of directors of JPMorgan is the lead director. It's the former CEO of Exxon, Lee Raymond, known to be a really tough manager and, you know, good questioner of practices, business practices. Is that how important is all of that in terms of oversight?
That's extremely important. Lee Raymond co-authored a letter to shareholders, a 7-page letter last Friday, saying that he has adequate oversight, that he thinks that Jamie Dimon should remain CEO and chairman. Having said that, I've covered banks for 25 years, and I've never met one director on the board of JPMorgan. That's why I'm going to annual meetings for the first time in my 25-year history of doing this job. And so I need to meet Lee Raymond face-to-face and look him in the eye. He's 73 years old, so is the Lee Raymond today the Lee Raymond of 20 years ago? Now, large investors do have the chance to meet him, so perhaps JPMorgan's tilting the balance in favor of Jamie Dimon. It waits to be seen.
All right, Mike, thank you so much for your insights. Really appreciate it. Mike Mayo, bank analyst at CLSA.